Kumusta? Mabuhay and maligayang pagbabalik sa aking channel. So, you guys want me to react to an interview of ex-president Ferdinand Marcos, who is Bongbong Marcos's father. Let me read you the title of this video. President Ferdinand Marcos interview on ABC's Nightline in Hawaii, April 1986. A year before I was born, meaning that it was 36 years ago. That is crazy. But before we do this, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Music Game News because, well, that is where you can DM me your suggestions. And without further ado, let's check it out.
I must tell you, when people heard I was coming out to do an interview with you.
It's so old, man.
I must tell you, when people heard I was coming out to do an interview with you, you know what most people are interested in?
Mm-hmm.
Your wife's 3,000 pairs of shoes.
How many shoes?
Of course, this is unbelievable. I cannot believe that this thing about, Imelda's shoes was a thing in the 80s, and it's still a thing today. That's unbelievable.
How many shoes?
Can you wear on 20 years?
Exactly. How many can you?
Well, she
Look at that.
buys all kinds of shoes. She has probably to change shoes twice a day. And then after a while, because she has to feel more comfortable. And there are parties where she can wear high heels. There are parties where she has to wear short heels.
Mr. President, 3,000 pairs of shoes. Hundreds and hundreds of...
20 years. Those are collections for 20 years.
But people look at those price tags still hanging from the dresses. People look at the price tags on they see the jewelry, they see the, the cameras went into Malacanang, and they look at that and they say, here's while people are starving out in the street.
Well, is that a logical conclusion? That we spent this kind of money? Where did the money come from?
I don't know.
Probably it came from our private...
Wow, but Bongbong Marcos looks a lot like his dad, man, especially around the eyes area. Oh, man, I really see the sun, when I look at Ferdinand Marcos. Yeah, I mean, I get it. The people are upset that she has so many shoes that were that expensive, but he's trying to explain that she gathered all those shoes in the span of 20 years and that a lot of those shoes are gifts. It doesn't mean that she bought all of those shoes, those expensive shoes, you know what I mean? And I understand the point of view of Filipinos, who are like, yo, man, I mean, your people, your kabayabans are suffering, they don't have food, they can't eat, and you're spending money on shoes, on $500,000 shoes. That's just, it's not like, where is your morale? It's inhumane to do that and let your people suffer. I understand, the Filipinos' perspective.
Private funds. Did they prove that it came from public funds? Did they prove that this was the reason why the people don't have any money? Then why did the income of the people increase from 736 to 10,000?
I don't
Why did the deposits in the bank go up 35 times?
Mr. President, I don't think that the equation is if only Mrs. Marcos had not spent the money on the shoes and the dresses, that there would have been enough money there for the people.
But it is obvious that they are implying this. It's
Sir,
very obvious.
I think the question that people are raising is, Here is the president, here is the first lady, the governor of Manila. It seems somehow indecent.
Oh, well, that's
I think that's the charge, quite frankly.
It is indecent to show how much you got while there are people suffering and that have nothing, you know? Like, even if you have a lot of money, do not show it. Don't show it. Like, keep it private. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, this, of course, something which compares with showing on television nighties, brass, panties, and the like. You talk about the good breeding, well, that's it. She probably was used to this when I was a young, overspending congressman, when I was courting her, driving a convertible and dancing around town like a spoiled bachelor. But I won't defend her. I will say that
Hey, I didn't see you there. Well, now that you're here, why don't you celebrate for making it this far into this video by subscribing to the channel, by turning on that notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos, and of course, and the most important thing, to like this video because it does help out the channel tremendously. And now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go back to my business. Okay, so he was not a president anymore during this interview. Yeah, I mean, makes sense since it took place in Hawaii after they, some people said after they fled the Philippines, some people said they were kidnapped from the Philippines, I don't know.
she felt that she had to wear dresses in accordance with the occasion, that her duty was not just to be a housewife, but to represent the Filipino people proudly when they are in New York, when she has to talk to heads of state.
Yeah, that's fine. You can dress up really well when you're representing the Philippines elsewhere, or even when you go out in the Philippines, that's fine. But don't let the media get into your house and film all that you have, all your belongings, you know what I mean? It just sends the wrong type of message. That's why also people like Duterte, because Duterte, I think, refused to live in the president's house, you know, that's allocated to the president. He wanted to live like a regular person and stay in his house, right? I think so. You know, you can really connect with a person like that.
When she has to go to a funeral of, say, Khrushchev or whoever else. When she has to go to Rome and meet the Pope.
But shopping trips, Mr. President, shopping trips in which she takes advances of $150,000,
Those shopping trips are all fabricated. Like saying that she went to Japan and bought $500,000 worth of pearls. That's completely false. That's a lie.
Or $4.5 million expended over 1 month in New York.
Well, probably it was not all spent for her. What is the proof that this was all spent for her? Just because she took it out of her account?
Took it out
of her account. I understand that this is what they're proving.
Well, they're saying two things. They're saying, one, that she had kind of an unlimited account with the Bank of the Philippines, that she could draw enormous quantities of money, and two,
that's false.
That money was taken out of the military intelligence fund.
Oh, completely false. That is where, again...
Then why are you sweating bullets, Mr. Former President? I'm just trolling.
The foreign correspondents may have been mistaken. There is no such thing as a military intelligence fund except that which I control.
I mean, what they're talking about, there are very careful notations by your wife's secretary, Faye Jimenez, in which she accounts for each item. And there are expenditures of $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 for one painting, I believe, an expenditure that exceeded $1.5 million.
Oh, I seriously doubt that. I haven't seen this matter. If it is a case in court, I don't want to talk about it. But I can tell you this, that we...
You know, this does not come from nowhere. You know, if people are talking about it and have been talking about it for so many years, it's probably coming from somewhere that the Marcoses enjoyed to spend money. You know, they enjoyed to live lavishly. You know, I don't know if it's to the extent of what people are saying, you know, that they have billions of dollars and that they spend so much money on paintings and clothes and shoes. But I'm pretty sure that there is a truth in that, because it wouldn't make sense for people to start talking about this if there wasn't like a hint of truth. But I don't know if maybe people blew it out of proportion. I don't know. We can't really know, right?
We never spent government funds for our personal purposes. If we did, we replaced them immediately. I may have committed many sins in my life, but stealing money from the people and from the government is not one of them.
Okay, so he's saying that he did not steal from his own country, but he also says that, because he doesn't seem sure. He also said that if he did, meaning that, yeah, he may have borrowed money from the government and then paid it back, you know? That's already not a very good sign if your president is borrowing money from the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to do that in the first place. You're already very well paid. Why would you go and borrow money from the government? What do you need, you know? What do you need that will push you to borrow money from the government, from your own people? Wow, okay. I honestly did not think that this interview would be all about Imelda Marcos's spending, lavish spending, and also accusing the former president of stealing money from his own people. But that's where they went with this interview. You know, like I said many times, I'm just a bystander here. You guys asked me to react to it. I did. I don't really know what to think. There are two sides, you know. There's the side of people who believe that Ferdinand Marcos was the best president and he did not steal money, and under his regime everything was better. And then there are the other people, you know, who think he was the worst president of the Philippines and he stole money and he ruined the country and all that. All I ask of you is that if you have something to say about this and want to mention it in the comment section below, that you do it respectfully. All we can look forward to now is a good president for the Philippines that will manage to turn things around, or just continue in the lane of what Duterte has already done, because from what I hear, he's done pretty good things for the Philippines. So I only wish for the Philippines the best, you know, for the years to come. And whether it be Leni Robredo or Bongbong Marcos who wins, what would be good for the Philippines is a president that does not want to stay, you know, as a president for too long. Because that's what I saw in Africa. You know, I'm from Africa. I'm Algerian. Most African countries are third world countries, right? Or developing countries. In all those countries, their presidents stayed president for over 15 years, 20 years. Personally, I call that a dictatorship, and that's a very bad sign for the country, and that really shows you the state of the country. You know, that for me equals corruption and control. So whether it be Leni Robredo or Duterte, they just have to do their 6 years and move on and let somebody else become president. Unless they did a great job in those 6 years and the people want them back, you know. But but if they want to, you know, stay as president for another 6 years, that should be the limit. Twice should be the limit. That's it, because, you know, 12 years is a very long time already. You know what I'm saying? It's very long. 2 terms is a very long time. So yeah, 1 term is enough. 2 terms is acceptable if that president did a very good job during the first term, you know, and the people want him back or her back. But 2 terms is the limit. That's just my opinion. There you go. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Respectfully, of course. Maraming salamat po. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Subscribe here and please like the video to show your support and appreciation for my work, and turn on the notification bell to be poked for future content. Yeah.